Sure.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I'm fine with it.
All right, so we have now full hour to discuss, answer, and I guess cry or laugh about everything. Yesterday, I received this amazing email from one of the American teaching fellows here. She was surprised with my sincerity, my knowledge, and she sent me this email saying, "I'm in shock. I couldn't believe this is happening," and at the same time saying that I'm such a good role model and giving her so much, because in English teaching, they don't know there's so much to teach. They think English teaching is just from the textbook. Same thing in United States, or in textbooks overall, or teaching. So as, I guess, instructional coaches ourselves, even if we don't know the content in fully, I think what I realized, you can, using new technologies, make a big difference in your classroom. And the classrooms that I'm in here, there is no internet connection, and there is not even a blackboard that's workable. And people sometimes look at me and say, oh, now you need this. They are not very happy with my request list. But at the same time, I just found out through my research, students take exams in computer labs downstairs in the basement. And I said, what? There are computers somewhere? But they only use it for testing purposes. So I'm really puzzled here. There are computers, but I cannot use them. So every day I'm doing more detective work, and people are being inspired by me. And the reason why this, I think, person is telling that she's inspired, because I tell them, don't take no for an answer. What? I said, no, you don't need to take no for an answer. There is a yes somewhere. And I think I'm discovering that through here as well. There is a computer somewhere. Somebody needs to do a detective work. So as instructional coaches, I guess today we can entertain this idea of why everybody talks about deficits, not the assets. So maybe you can all tell me in a few minutes. I'll give you time to share. As instructional coaches, have you ever rediscovered things or realized that you don't really need all the new technologies to inspire people? The reason why I'm telling this is, years ago, a teacher inspired me. Do you know some plastics, like clinging sheets that you can put on all around your classroom? You buy them in rolls, and it's like a plastic bag, but it's not. It's a roll. You can put around your classroom. If you have no, let's say, whiteboard, this is a perfect way to put it around the classroom and turn your classroom all around with a plastic bag, plastic clinging sheet all around. So I was thinking I shall buy some of them, because I couldn't find them here in the United States, and bring it back, because in December 8th, I'll be back to the States. I will be buying all these things. And if you can donate some books, I can take some books with me, some children's books. And we have an American Center here. They're craving for anything American material. And I will be back in December 20, and I will share with them, because I realized you may not have a blackboard, but you can use a plastic sheet to cover your classroom, so students will do some activities. Because here I have to take some pictures. Now that I'm thinking, I should have took some pictures in the classroom. Students sitting in the rows, even the chairs, the desks are so uncomfortable, but they're forced to sit in these chairs. The only thing they're doing to come to school is they have to sign in 8:30 until 5:30. They're sitting on these chairs and learning absolutely nothing. And the school says, why these students are not motivated to learn, and the teachers are not motivated to teach. And when during my research, I'm asking the students, tell me, if you were the president of this institution, what would you do? I'm going to share some of their notes, some of their writings today, because they have the answer. Unbelievable. The amazing suggestions they have. And I said to myself, we don't even need to hire a consultant, or we don't need to rediscover things. We could just ask the students what they want, and they're amazing. And from chairs to heating the classroom, you cannot assess, in my opinion, you cannot assess the students' tests without assessing the environment, without assessing the heating conditions, sitting conditions, or even timing the lessons, and giving students like arts and crafts. They're in a university, there is no activity except there's one cafeteria that they can eat food, but it's so crowded that you can't barely do anything. So one of the student suggestions, if I were a president, I will bring Melda Yıldız into every single classroom. That was one way to solve problems. And I said, that's not possible. So what we can do, we can teach online. So I created a course sites. Are you familiar with course sites, which is a Blackboard's freebie? Course sites. I will send you the link here on the chat window. So it's exactly coursesites.com. It's exactly like Blackboard. So I created a course called Technologia. They call technology here Technologia. And I started putting things into this website, just like Blackboard, with all the discussion forums and resources. And they, because all the students have cell phones, right? And they have now access to all the video clips, information. So we don't have internet, we don't have technology, but everybody has cell phones. So I transformed every classroom. By the way, I'm teaching over 15 different sections. I'm going from one class to another. I'm getting so, and even if I haven't gone to classes, people are inviting me to their classes. And teachers are telling me they're inspired because with simple things, I turn into a game. One more example, and I'm gonna let you talk. One teacher was teaching adjectives, English adjectives. And she did, she just brought the textbook, students fill in the blanks. And the way they fill in the blanks is they look at the back of the textbook, copy your answers to the front of the textbook, fill in the blanks, and they learned adjectives, right? And she turned to me, she said, teach the rest. And I'm on the spot supposed to figure out how am I going to make that class now interactive. So I turned to students, I said, look, years ago, my first job interview in the United States, they asked me three adjectives describes Melda. And I told them, you know, you can use things like, it doesn't matter what adjectives you pick, but you need to explain why you call yourself a hardworking, innovative, transformative, whatever the adjectives you pick. So they had to pick 3 adjectives and explain to their peers. This is a very innovative stuff, by the way, turning into a peer-to-peer talk, because it's supposed to be between teacher to student, right? I am changing the paradigm. Now they're talking peer-to-peer. And then I said, okay, now it's time to introduce your peer. So one student, instead of introducing themselves for the first time, they're being asked to say, this is my friend, she has blonde hair, she let's say has 3 brothers, and then she, let's say, very selfish girl, she's very lazy, she's hardworking, and so on. And we learned that there are 2 ways to do adjectives, because sometimes say she is beautiful or she is a beautiful girl. Very simple. And we discovered it while we were talking. Then I played a game. I said, okay, everyone, give me a piece of paper, and then we do who, and then we turn around with this paper. Have you ever played a game like that? Who, where, what, and then every time you fold the paper, and then you give it to next someone next to you, and at the very end, when you open the paper, you start giggling because you realize Melda has green eyes. So who, what, where, how, and and at that point, the bell rang, but the teacher's eye was like opened up like this, and she's like, "Oh, this is interesting." I said, "Yeah, sometimes the technology you use is a piece of paper." And one way it's called think, pair, share. Have you heard that activity? Yeah, you guys know all the terminologies and pedagogies. Here I realized I need to give training to teachers with simple tools. All right, instructional leadership, instructional coaches, share with me some of your inspirational moments, and you could pick up one. You can unmute yourself one at a time. You're welcome to, I guess, pick and choose. Do you want me to pick names, or you guys could?
I'd like to throw something in that was actually on our ballot yesterday out in Southern California, and on the vote for the community was this measure, $160 million bond that would go towards the improvement of our district, which is 7 elementary schools and 2 middle schools. And so it's a big tax increase for the families, but all the money is going to improve the architecture and the furniture and all the infrastructure within the schools. It's all for making them, all of our school sites, 21st century areas. So we met with an architect, and he showed us all the desks that they're looking to add, desks on wheels so students can move around freely and collaborate. These great new interactive walls. Forget a smart board, just the whole wall is going to be some sort of interactive whiteboard. They want to expand the classroom into outside, which I guess since we live in a nice area, the weather's nice, so we can do that. But it passed. We found out today that it passed, so it's a huge thing that we're all very excited about. And it's thankfully I don't live in the district and I don't have to fund it, but it's it's exciting to know that we talk about these 21st century skills and these needs for our students, but now it's kind of starting to come together, at least where I am.
Wow, that's amazing. But sometimes it's not just money, right? It's sometimes the simple things, but money always helps.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Going off of that, my district actually is trying to implement stuff like that too, even just bouncy ball chairs and new tables that are just whiteboards that they can just write on the table instead of having to worry about smaller areas, and just ways to get them up and interactive. And our district is slowly buying Chromebooks for each department, and even the science department have iPads for the teachers that connect to the overhead projector so it goes right on the screen. And they're really actively pursuing adding different types of technology. They even have stand-up desks, which is great because I work with the self-contained population, so they cannot sit in a desk all day. So even just with that, you were talking about using paper, instead of just having notes up on the smartboard, I'll print out a slideshow and hang up around the walls and let them walk around the room and write their notes down that way, just because they all do better standing up and actively participating. So it's just those little things, but they are excited for technology. They do actually ask to use the Chromebooks on the regular and stuff. So it's good to see that the mix of technology and 21st century skills and that hands-on, but still using paper and stuff. So
you kind of inspired me. Maybe what we should do is with your help, because I have a huge now growing number of Instagram buddies. So let me just put you my Instagram address, Yıldız MN. So if you don't mind taking a picture of one thing you use in the classroom, like the one you'd mentioned, I put things on the whiteboard and put a little explanation of what you put that inspired. I can share my Instagram, and especially the students who are already part of my Instagram address will take a look at your pictures. And what I realized I shall do is to post one day, one thing from my experience in the school, like how the desks look like, what is the blackboards I'm talking about and complaining. So instead of putting my pictures and, you know, saying, oh, I've been in this nice place, I can actually show you what I really mean by there is no blackboard or desks are uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's definitely a cool way to use like social media for that and like just sharing ideas.
Yep. All right, who goes next? Hey, April. All right, Dan, Brian, who wants to go next?
So I'll just go. So one of the things that I've been working on in my school, I feel I've been able to motivate other teachers as well, is to use technology for goal setting for our students. So in my classroom in the back of the room, I have these big charts, and we have these goals on IXL, which is a math program, where the students they set goals and now they're working towards meeting those goals on IXL. And it's been something that's positive in my classroom that I've been able to share with a teacher that I've been mentoring. And so she's starting to find some success with it as well. And, we've been using it as a formative assessment tool. I've given the students surveys on Google Forms. So, and just like sharing that with other teachers has been a positive experience.
Yeah, you hit two important points, Brian. One is formative assessment, and you also inspire me this now that I'm sleepy, I just forgot what you said. One more thing.
Goal setting.
Oh, goal setting. So these are very simple ways of thinking, but teachers here have no idea of what assessment is. Here, assessment is mixed with evaluation. So the way that I think, I'm going to put a little cartoonish thing for you while I'm talking. Let me find and share my screen. They're all focusing on how are we going to prepare the students for the final test at the end of the semester. And if the student fails that one test, they are losing a year. If they miss 6 classes, they cannot even allow to take this test. So assessment here is like punishment. Assessment here is and I don't think that's what they mean, but sometimes that's how it looks like from the student's point of view, and they're not happy learners. And it's a rat race. There's no goal setting. Like when I ask the students what you want to be, tell me 3 objectives you accomplish at the end of this class, they're looking at me like, why am I supposed to tell what I want? You are the teacher to tell me type of that. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. I think I found that cartoon about assessment. All right, in this picture, right in the background, the purpose of assessment is to increase quality, or evaluation is to judge quantity. So when I showed this picture, teachers like, oh, there's one word in Azeri. So in Azerbaijan, there's one word. It's called kıymetlendirme, which means assessment and evaluation. So it's not even in the literature. It's not even in the language that there is a difference between summative assessment and formative assessment. Assessment is kıymetlendirme, which equals to giving final exam at the end of the semester. Thank you for your comment, Brian. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll jump in and go next. I had a pretty interesting thing go on over the last few weeks in my school. We're actually kind of having like an opposite problem other people are having, where other people are fighting really hard to get technology. We actually, in my school district, have gotten a great deal of technology over the last few years. We actually got a whole bunch of 3D printers and laser cutters and things put into a laboratory downstairs, like really exciting new things. And after a few months, we had gotten a new person we hired downstairs just to work with this material, and they were hoping that teachers were going to go downstairs and get interested and start using the materials with their students and getting students down there. And it just was really stagnant in the beginning of the year, and not a lot of people knew about it. So I actually started looking up around my area to see if there's any professional development on how to use these materials, to see if there's a way that I could implement into my classroom or help develop PDs in my district. And there's really nothing in Orange County where I am right now, nothing I've been able to find. And actually, one of the guys we had working downstairs with the technology quit and left for another district in the second month of the school year. So we had a whole bunch of large issues there. So I actually went downstairs after school one day, started working with the guy. I learned how to use AutoCAD, how to manipulate STL files, how to laser cut, how to do all these things. And I started developing a graphic design project in one of my classes as an extra credit piece in an honors course. And I had students down there printing out like plastic figurines, printing out fake money, designing flags, all these different things as part of a historical fiction unit that I was doing. And we kind of sent word out through my union leadership about what was going on. And all of a sudden, there were all different teachers kind of bringing their students down there. You had drama kids like printing out globe theaters and things they were going to use in plays. And now the technology is really taking off across the district. And it was really just by wandering downstairs and having a little bit of interest in looking up a few things. And we're actually, me and the teacher who really got it started downstairs, are developing a professional development for our district that we're hoping is going to take off. And we're hoping to pitch to our board to get more of that stuff in over the next few years because we seem to have a budget for it.
Very nice, very nice. Again, maybe it's your turn because you told me you couldn't find any. Maybe there are other teachers around the nation looking for inspirations. So you might want to have some kind of a blog or some kind of an Instagram page to share what we did today. One thing from your institution that could be shared. We are really looking for materials still. And speaking of materials, if anyone interested, I'm still seeking until November 15, but I can give you guys extension. I'm writing a book on global competencies. As you recall, I send you a few reading lists on the global competencies. If anyone interested in integrating global competencies in media, just like you mentioned, those extra point activities, if you're interested in writing a chapter for my book, I'm going to send you a call for proposals. You just put two paragraphs to explain what you're going to write, and within the next 2 months, you complete a chapter and you will be a published author. So I will send you that information on the announcement section of Blackboard if you're interested. Thank you, Dan. Hi, Marilyn. Thank you for joining. We are just talking about our coaching experiences. I just started talking about my experiences here. People find me inspirational and I feel I've done nothing but frustrated. But I think I'm selling them this don't take no for an answer attitude. And the students are like, can I do that? Can I just demand things from the president? I said, yep, you can. Just let me know what I can do to be your voice. So we're starting now data, and I will share, I guess, in December meeting, my conclusion of the research I've been conducting here. And hopefully I will continue to learn from you. So who wants to go next to share some triumphs and struggles from your field?
I'll go ahead. I've spent a lot of my time this semester working on creating and getting our website going. And that's kind of taking a different approach. I know it's not necessarily directly with the students, but they are benefiting. And there was a need for it because we were having a lot of the comments from parents were that they missed the website because we needed to switch from, we used to pay like thousands of dollars, and now we're using Google for a free platform. And I started it from scratch, and I enjoyed it because I've learned so much. I've done a lot of YouTubing to learn how to do it because the person that like opened the account, she didn't use templates, so I did it from scratch. And I just yesterday on election day did a PD to help the teachers each make their own class page. And it's just been a really great experience, and it's going to help us. We're right now using it mainly to communicate with parents, but we want to turn it into a hub for students to go to in class and a way for students to access material. So we have a lot of plans for the future, but it's just been a lot of fun actually developing it and improving my skills in a technical sense.
Thank you. Thank you. You shared with us your link. Maybe you can put it in a chat window. Maybe those students' projects. I'm always excited to look.
Sure.
Who wants to go next?
I can go. So over the last couple of weeks, I've had a little bit of a hard time with PD. I've actually had an easier time with some of my parents with doing things. I'm having a hard time because a lot of the teachers are taking more of a union approach where they don't want to have trainings during the school day or after school unless they're getting paid for it. So I've been having a hard time with that, with getting teachers in. So I've been focusing a lot on the kids and on parents, which is fine. I actually have a couple of parents who are teaching in other school districts, and I started using S'more as my newsletters quite a few years ago. And for some reason, this group of parents is just really interested in it. So I get a lot of emails asking how to do things. And those teachers have actually started using them now with their own classes in different school districts. So I've definitely had a different experience that was a bit frustrating at first, but now it's seeming to go a different way. That's a little bit more positive.
I am so happy to hear parents are part of the learning community.
Yeah.
We always think learning is just students and teachers. I think learning is also custodial connection, people who are in the community, who you bring the community leaders and projects. So you're absolutely right. I think I need to remind myself to do the same here, because people thinking university life is just teachers come to classroom, make sure they take the attendance, and students are sitting on the rows. It's actually also bringing parents and their expertise and their connections. Wow, thank you for that little reminder.
Of course.
Oh, by the way, I have a chance to put the link for the call for proposals. Please, please, please consider writing. And if we have more proposals, then we can do for the book, and we want to write, we can actually have the second book. So don't think that, oh, I can't be accepted. Right. It doesn't make this book. We can have the sequel of the book. And I just put the link up for you to look and consider publication. Or maybe a couple of you might be interested in co-writing, or we can all do it together as a EDIT 695 team. We can write what global competencies mean in the 21st century teaching, coaching, and so on. So just take a look at the link and give me some ideas if you want to write. All right, who's next?
I don't have much to say in terms of, because I've been doing other stuff on the side, pretty much consulting. So I do a lot of computer programming with Java and Python. So I know it's way out of the instructional technology when it comes to education. So pretty much in terms of work, because I'm a per diem teacher, I do consulting on the side. So it's more programming. Yeah. And it's something that I do on a regular basis. With teachers, I'm working with an ELA teacher, so it's more software applications. I don't want to burden her down too much because she's one of the older teachers. I'm a little tired because I worked yesterday for elections. I introduced her to Read Speaker, text edit, because she has some kids in her class that speaks Arabic and Spanish. So with that program, what she does is she can cut and paste or upload information onto the web app, and the kids can listen to it in their own language and complete their assignment. So we've been working on that, and the feedback has been good so far. Other than that, it's just consulting with programming.
Perfect. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Can I just say, Rach, I think I'm looking at your website. This website's pretty awesome, by the way. Very nice job on that.
Thank you so much.
It's inspiring.
For sharing. We'll continue to look at it. And it's another thing about parents. Maybe it's good to share these website with the parents as well, Rachel, to see if they can give you feedback and see how usable it is or what else they need.
And I'm actually holding a workshop for the parents to teach them how to use it. I wanted to get the teachers to have their class pages, but we're going to do that next. That's my next Tech Tuesday.
Perfect. So one thing at a time, but don't forget the parents. I guess that's what we learned today. Community of learners. Your system just told me we have 10 minutes, or now it's 7 minutes left. So if ever we disconnected, I will restart the Zoom just to let you know. I don't know why.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
What's the name of the link, or where did you put the link? That's Rachel.
Rachel, it's on the chat. If you see the chat window.
So just click on the chat.
Yeah, and then you will see a bunch of links. One of the sites.
Got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I also put a proposal link, and then Rachel put her website.
Okay.
And this could be a platform for you guys to share if you have some links to share, some resources that, like I never heard s'mores before until you guys are all sharing with me your journals. I am so inspired. I learned so much from you guys this last couple of weeks. So I really appreciate it. Hey, Laura, you want to go next?
Sure. Unfortunately, my school doesn't have all that much technology. And right now, my smart board just kind of conked out on me. So I've been using chart paper and giving the students Post-it notes until I get that fixed. But I do spend a lot of time showing my colleagues how to access Universal, Universal, the shortcuts for the students to be able to zoom in and zoom out and change the size of the cursor, because I work with students with disabilities and a lot of them have vision issues. A lot of my students also do not read. So I will show them, different ways to be able to bring up software that the students can listen to a chapter of a story. So that's kind of what I'm doing as far as working with my colleagues, because that's what our need is in our school.
And you also reminded me, a teacher years ago, I was observing in New Jersey. What she did with, she did not have a smart board, but she had a whiteboard, and she had a transparency, what do we call that? Transparency machine? I forgot totally. These old machines that you put
The projector.
yeah, it's not even a computer. So she's projecting transparency on a whiteboard, and the students are filling things and writing it on the whiteboard. What's it's projected? It could be, as I recall, it could be some kind of a map that they had to fill in, some problems to solve. So I said, this is a very big innovation. Wow, she has nothing, but she turned into that projection I totally forgot the name of that things. It's now that old technology, and some schools probably don't even have those. They trash them because they have no bulbs that fits into it.
Right.
The overhead projector.
Overhead projector. That's it. Thank you. But then what she did was, because she had a couple of whiteboards, she also borrowed it from the library on a card, the computer that's projected on the whiteboard. So there are, if you want to teach, there are even, just like you said, Laura, not post-it notes is all you need. They can post it on the walls. It's all about, having that little passion to do something more. But what's happening in Azerbaijan, teachers do not even seen anything innovative. Anything I do here looks innovative for them. Like, wow, we can do that. Like, yes, you can do this. So simple. Students just need to stand up, walk around, like a gallery walk. An idea that you post things with QR codes on them, students, because everybody has a cell phone, right? And they can just use a QR code to go around, and those videos could pop out. You can use some augmented reality. It's a piece of paper on the wall that will turn your classroom into a dialogue, discussion, and interactivity in a different sense. So thank you for your good comments. All right, we have less than 2 minutes left, but let's get one more person, and then we restart the Skype. All right, nobody wants to rush for the 2 minutes. Then why don't I end the meeting for now, and then restart it so that we don't have to stress out for the last minute. And I will post these recordings onto the Zoom session. So the students who may not be able to join us, they can at least hear your inspirations. Oh, before I hang up, I'm going to share with you one more link, if you don't mind. I introduced you this resource, Global Education Conference. I am presenting 2 sessions, and I will put it on the announcement. I hope you'll have a chance to join me. Hopefully the time slots fits to your time slot. This is a conference 24/7 coming up next week during the International Education Day. So take a look. Maybe some of you already proposed to present, and your presentations also will be archived, and mine too, the ones I present, so you'll have a chance to watch them later on.